me on a ride.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Cedar Point Podcast, episode number 1. It's where we talk all things Cedar Point. Super excited. We got a great cast for you to kind of hang out and talk Cedar Point. The legendary Donald P. Hello, Donnie.
What's up, everybody?
What's up? And then, of course, you got Molly, who's a former employee of Cedar Point.
Morning.
Molly, good morning. Good morning. And then by the way, we're as we tape, we're about 12 weeks out from the opening of Cedar Point, which Molly pointed out earlier is May 7th. So which is a week early, right, Molly?
Yes. Normally opens Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah, so we're getting an extra weekend this year. And we have Nicole. Hi, Nicole.
Hi. How are you guys?
Wonderful. Excited to do this with you guys. Let's start with what attracts you to Cedar Point? Like, what's your favorite Cedar Point memory? Like, what makes you love Cedar Point? Donnie, we'll start with you.
I just love Cedar Point because of the escapism, man. I just feel like you walk into that park and it's a whole nother world. Like, it's not only do you not feel like you're in Ohio, you feel like you're on a different freaking planet. Like, just these giant machines that I can't, like, you see people on it, like, I can't believe there's somebody on that. And then you get on it after them. It's just like the craziest thing. Actually, well, do you guys remember the movie, the first National Lampoon's Vacation, when they go to Wally World, which is like, I think, a Six Flags park in California.
Right.
But when they pull up, there's like a skyline, a backdrop of the park, and it's half fake. That's mostly drawn in.
Really?
Like artwork, and because they wanted it to look so extreme. Well, now, like 40 years later, Cedar Point's skyline is way crazier than whatever that guy imagined 40 years ago. So that's what does it for me.
For me, Donnie, I agree with you, Donnie. You know, for me, it's interesting because as you're driving to Cedar Point, you go over this strip of land where there's water, surrounded by water.
Yeah.
And it really is, you're arriving into a paradise. So from the point you get on the causeway, it's like you're transporting into someplace different. And when you get in the park, you do get energy. You do feel like you've left. You know, you love being around people and just the noise of the roller coasters and just the fun. It's, you know, I was a guy, because doing radio, we used to always have to go to festivals like Strawberry Fest and Apple Fest and Apple Butter, whatever, a million festivals, right? And you go there and you'd spend a ton of money, and the rides were just carnival rides. You know, you guys with 3 teeth running the rides and everything. Is like these. I'm sure these rides are safe. Sure they are. And so I'm like, you know what? And then we got a taste of Cedar Point. It's like, dude, an hour away, I can be in a place that has $1 billion worth of rides. Like, why would I waste my time on these little podunk festivals? So we stopped going to festivals, and those weekends that we would spend at festivals, we started going to Cedar Point, and I love it. And I think it's just to have something this spectacular, one of the world's greatest roller coaster amusement parks right here within driving distance of where we are, is pretty remarkable. And we're pretty fortunate, I think.
I agree.
Nicole, what draws you to Cedar Point?
Oh my gosh. So I have a storied history with Cedar Point. And, you know, my dad is like, okay, he's 74 and he still has a season pass and he gets on every ride. And when I was little, I hated rides. I was terrified. In fact, we went to another park in Florida, the big one with the mouse, and my dad tried to make me ride the one where you're, you know, in outer space. And I was crying so hard that the ride operators were like, dude, we cannot make her ride this ride. So I was forced into Cedar Point, was forced upon me as a child. When Iron Dragon came out, I cried the whole time in line. And now I've gotten over most of that. And it's kind of like what Donnie said. I just like, you walk in and everything, whatever you were worried about is gone. Mm-hmm. And for me, this is a really weird and specific thing. So now, like, I'm a mom, I have teenagers, and we get to go there and just be us. My husband does not ride rides. His fast pass is the all day meal plan. So
Heck
he
yeah.
goes around and tries all the different food. But for me, it's this is so weird. You know the hill on Millennium Force before the tunnel? Just a little hill.
Uh-huh.
There's this moment for me where it's just like, that's the moment. Like the anxiety about, like this hill is really scary. But that moment over this one hill going into the tunnel, every time I stretch my arms out and I'm just like, yes, thank you. I needed a break. And it's just,
that's the best part too. It really is. It's just a break from your typical life BS. And and I don't ride the roller coasters. I'm too fat. I would ride them, I guess, but I don't. The most embarrassing thing is to wait in line and to get up there and 4 ride operators are jumping on the thing to try to push it down. I'm like, you know what? I'm cool. I'm not doing that no more. And then you have the walk of shame where you go off the exit before the ride is even gone. You're like, you know what? I'm cool. But I still love it. Like I'll go in Frontierland. First of all, I love it too. I'm jumping a little bit, but it's something that we could do with the teenagers. They're still, they're too old and too cool for so much, but they're not too old and too cool and still look forward to Cedar Point. So I love that, being able to bond, even just that, the hour drive and getting there and hanging out, whatever. I know they kind of run and do their own things part-time, but then we come together for dinners and whatever. But I love just, you go walk into Frontierland and there's the swings there, and I'll just sit on those swings, me and the baby, and we'll just watch people and do. It's just something about just being in a magical land. It really is. It's an awesome place. Molly, what draws you to this magical land?
It's driving down Route 2, driving over the bridge and seeing it off in the distance and coming on to First Street and knowing that you're almost there by the time that you get to the causeway and knowing that you're almost there and parking and walking in. But when I worked there, it was smelling the grease in the morning, hearing the national anthem start up, knowing that you're helping everybody getting on and off the rides, and knowing that it was the best thing in the world, the work open to close. And
you were like a fun facilitator.
Right.
Yeah, it was amazing for me. And I've met some of the most amazing friends of a lifetime there, and that are still my best friends to this day, and watching their families grow and watching our friendship grow, and knowing that I don't have to ride the rides, but I do, and walking the midways, seeing everything and watching the park change, and watching my daughter ride rides now and passing it on. It's amazing.
It's awesome. Do you guys ever get tired of it? I mean, I don't think you ever get tired. I know, right?
Never.
Get tired of it.
Every time I leave that park, a little bit of me dies because I'm so like, I don't want it to be over.
That's why I was really excited to do this podcast, because a lot of people like I work with and my friends, they know the obsession, but they just don't understand it. They don't get it. Like, how can you go up there again? You were just there. And this is a time that we can talk to people that get it. They know why I can go again. And I was just there.
And I don't know why some people get sucked in. Like, I think even the people that are Donnie, like, why are you going there again? They've been. Why do they not get sucked in the way someone like you or Nicole or Molly or myself gets sucked in? How does everyone not see what we see?
Because a big part of Cedar Pointing or theme parking is your own responsibility to have a good time. Yes, the rides are there and the food is there, but some things aren't going to go right. Some rides might not work. It might rain. It might, and it's a big responsibility on your part to enjoy it and take it in. And some people, I think, they just go up and just, they may walk the park bell to bell, and they're tired and they're pissed and they didn't have a good time. And I think, and that's fine, but that's on them to CP the way that that they got to find out
They
their own way.
Go ahead, Molly.
they might go on a wrong day. They might go on a busy Saturday and they absolutely hate it and don't know why they did that. And they might not ever go back again. They might go on a complete rainy day because they didn't check the weather and they don't ever want to go back again. Or they might go and they realize that one of their favorite rides are down, and every time they go, their favorite ride is down and they absolutely hate it. Or they had a bad experience with a bad employee, and they don't realize that it can change the next day. And their experience was wrong and bad, and they didn't want to change their attitude about it.
Okay, so by education, I am a mental health therapist, and I would like to say that those people probably aren't going to have fun anywhere.
Right.
You know what
True.
I mean? Like,
that is so true, Nicole. I don't mean to cut you off. I'll get
able
back
to make the best of a situation.
No, I'm sorry.
But that's what
So it's so true. Like the fact that I think we're having a little delay. Sorry about that. But it's so true. Like if you're miserable in life, I mean, you're probably going to find something. If you're always finding something to be negative about, you can find plenty of things to be negative about. So it all depends on your frame of mind, right, Nicole?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, there are, like Molly's saying, like, there's a bad day. Like, there are bad days to go to Cedar Point. A Saturday in July isn't going to be the fullest experience.
I'll be there.
In line. I will too, but I understand what I'm getting into.
Right.
But, there's some people that it doesn't matter. It's the person in line behind them, or, they can't let those things go. So, but I also, on the other side, like being a theme parker myself, like if I'm going to a theme park hours and hours away and I've spent all this money and I can't have a really full experience because it's super busy or whatever, I understand the letdown of that. But we're all locals, so we get a little bit of that. Like, we understand, like, I say local, I'm 2.5 hours away, but
you bring up a good point. I'm sorry, Don, I'll get right to you. But you bring up a good point in the fact that if you have a pass, if you spend $85 now to go to Cedar Point, you're going to be there from morning until night. And you're going to power through whatever lines or bullshit or whatever you have to because you've spent the money. For me, if it's crazy in July, we'll go for 2 hours and then we'll roll out. Yeah. We'll go for dinner and roll out. And if you're only spending that money, all you have in the back of your head is, I just dropped $300 and I can't even go on rides and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. To where we look past that, we've got passes, we can go whenever we want. So it's like, some lines this week. Well, there won't be lines tomorrow. There won't be lines next week. And we don't worry about it as much as someone that goes the one time. And like you said, they have the one bad experience on that one day that they go. Go ahead, Donnie. What were you going to say?
That's what I was going to say. I think some people that go up once a year or twice a year, they go up and they try to do the whole park. And I think people like myself and in this group, like we go up and I might ride 2 rides. I probably average 2 rides a visit. And I mean, sometimes it's 0 because I'm just walking the kids around. It might be my turn to wait with the young ones that aren't getting on Gemini. So like there's multiple times I go up there and I don't get on anything.
Yeah.
I would be a little bit different. I do go open to close when I go, because it is a 2.5 hours for me.
Yeah, you're further away.
Yeah. So when we're going, and actually my kids make fun of me because I want to be there for the national anthem. I'm running back. Steel Vengeance is my favorite. I'm running to the back. So y'all can join me. You can do whatever you want, but I'm going on Steel Vengeance today.
I love it.
And that's that. And I'm dragging them, like, at the end of the night, I'm like, come on, we got to just go one more time. Gatekeeper, there's no line. Let's go. We're going to go like 3 times and then we'll leave or whatever. So
it's great that you still have that energy about it. That's 2.5 hours away, Nicole, and you get the hour early. And so what time are you leaving the house? Like, what time are you packing everyone in the car on Saturday?
Well, I have taken to, like, we'll go on Friday night and we'll stay, through Sunday. But you know what? During the pandemic, I was I was leaving at, 6:30 or 7 to be there at rope drop. Because I was just doing the one day. So, whatever. And we're hitting
Love it.
way out. Like
Right.
just how it's happening.
And some of my favorite memories. Donnie does this all the time, where he'll get a hotel at Breakers or whatever. And the cool thing about it is you'll just go in the park to go eat, and then you'll go back out and do other stuff. And the most underrated part of Cedar Point to me is the beach. And Donnie has found that as well. He'll go down and just take advantage of the beach. Why would you go to any other beach when you can go to this beautiful beach with coasters in the background and people screaming and just the energy of that? Like, we could go down and just go to the beach and not even go to the park, or just go into the park to eat because you got the passes and get some food and then come back out on the beach. That's the most underrated part of Cedar Point that a lot of other parks don't offer.
And people don't understand that all you have to do is pay to park, go back and enjoy the beach all day long. And you don't have to pay. And people think you have to pay to get into the park to get to the beach. No, all you have to do is pay to park, go to the beach and sit all day.
Don't give that away.
Sorry. I do it all the time. I don't care if people know about it, because they're still not going to understand it and don't believe you.
Go ahead, Don.
Well, yeah, I mean, like Andrew and I have talked for years about it being like the biggest, the best kept secret, but I think the secret might be out, because there was a couple times last year where that beach was packed, and it was a cool thing to see. It was a really cool thing to see.
Well,
and you can stay at night and enjoy the festivities all night long that they have out there. That's why they're doing the boardwalk. That's why they're trying to do the activities at night to enjoy it. I mean, that's why they're trying to enjoy everything about the beach, but people don't understand it.
Well,
So this is. Oh, sorry.
go ahead, Nicole. No, go ahead,
I
Nicole.
was just gonna say, this is what worries me about. I don't know if "worry" is the right word, but if I'm switching gears too fast, let me know. But
No, you're fine.
if another owner comes in, are they going to get that? Are they going to understand really what a gem it is? Our Great Lakes are way undervalued, and in a good way. Like, it's our stuff. We got it. Nobody needs to bother. We like that it's a little bit private, but I don't think that everybody really gets that and understands the Midwesternness of it. So
it's a great point, Nicole. And we might as well jump into that. The SeaWorld takeover offer of $3.4 billion. It's a 100% cash offer. So it's a little different than the Six Flags offer 3 years ago, which was a $4 billion deal. But actually, it's funny because the Six Flags had a lot of stocks in it. So value today, it would be about a $3.4 billion deal that they didn't take from Six Flags. So now it's the SeaWorld offer. It's a completely cash offer. And I will just say, Nicole, and that I agree with what you're saying, 100% with what you're saying. But maybe if someone was going to buy it, if it was someone that valued the water as much as SeaWorld does, maybe they are the right ones to take over something like this. Go ahead, Donnie. You look like you want to say.
Oh no, I'm kind of with you. I have spent the last couple of days trying to alleviate some of the fears, because it's just a scary thing for everybody, I think.
I know.
And I don't think it's gonna happen, but I just don't think it's as bad of a thing as it kind of feels like online. And I mean, I was talking to my wife for an hour last night. She's like, I'm never going back. I'm like, what? Hold on, slow it down. It's like the park.
She made the statement. If SeaWorld buys Cedar Point, I will never go back. I'm like, whoa, actually.
Well, I have been kind of trolling online. I did share pictures of the name change, like SeaWorld instead of Cedar Point, and I did say, made a post about what are they going to change the roller coaster names to, which let me just put it out there. That was a troll. I do think if it does happen, which I don't think it will, they're not going to change the name of the parks. They're not going to change any roller coasters. At the very core, if you didn't know, you're not gonna notice right away. The park is still going to be Cedar Point. We're still going to have the history.
Right.
Well, and very often when parent companies, we don't know, if Sears gets bought by Kohl's, we're not going to walk in the store but the nuances you will know. Like as a pass holder, there will be some some changes that
website
feel, or that they feel that they're streamlining this or that, we will notice some changes.
And for sure.
You don't know, some might be good, some might be bad, but man, online, no one wants this to happen. Like Nicole says, everyone has a fear of the unknown, and that's just what it is. It's like we love what we have now. There's a chance it could be better, but there's a chance it could be worse. And I'm cool where I'm at now, so let's not mess with it.
And my wife, I'm a lifer. I've been going since I was born, so 40 plus years. She went a couple times when she was young, but she's like you, Andrew. She's about 10 years. She's just really starting to like get Cedar Point into her DNA. Like it's like she's like getting there like right now, and it's a really cool thing to see and be a part of. And so for her, she's like, well, it's not going to be the same park. And my point was, Cedar Point's not the same park from year to year anyways. Like they're always changing something, trying to improve. And sometimes it's something that you like, sometimes it's something that you don't like, or a change that you don't like. Like for example, Wicked Twister was some people's favorite ride, and that's gone now. I mean, I didn't like the ride myself, so for me that's not anything, but some people are upset with that. And so for 40 years, I'm telling you, that park is a little bit different every single year.
Which I love about that. They have the themed years, and they do things, and they jump all in. I love that, to be able to keep it a little fresh. It's funny, a couple years ago they had I can't remember, you guys will remember what it was, but they had like the dancers, and there's like craziness going on where they and I don't know all the names. Like you guys are way more versed than I am, but what's the place where they have the big shows like at night?
Celebration Plaza.
Thank you, Celebration Plaza. A couple years ago, they had it where there were platforms and girls dancing on all the platforms, and it was like fire, and it was. You guys don't remember that that theme?
LeBron James was up there a couple years ago. That like Usher up there.
I remember it, but I don't know the theme.
Okay, so my wife lost her mind. She's like, "Oh my God, these girls are scantily clad, and and I'm like, we got to hang out in here. It's not like it."
I remember. I have videos of that, and there was one guy.
Mind.
Yes. I remember now. I actually have that on my phone somewhere. I was like, look at this dude. He was like dancing so funky.
Are you talking about
really?
Here's my wife, the pole dancers.
Yes.
Are you
Yes.
Yeah, those ones, they're pole dancers.
Well, I don't know what they do in their off time, but they have
that look.
They have that look.
A little bit of everything at Cedar Point.
Right.
All right? A place like no other. Okay.
Everyone.
And I know a lot of people are losing their mind that this is not kid friendly. It's not family appropriate. See. So some of the themes are misses, but
yeah.
But let's face it, you can see that in line a lot of times. A lot of people are more comfortable wearing less clothes as visitors to the park. So we had that conversation with my 14-year-old daughter of, we're not wearing that.
That's why people watching is exciting at Cedar Point.
Oh my God. How did we leave that out? We all left that out. That's like the number one.
What, people watching?
The number one thing to go to Cedar Point is just
people
watching people like,
watching.
wow, look at that family. They're just wet. They wrote something.
they're just wet.
Head to toe.
My wife Kylie wants to say something. Go ahead.
Maybe they should have a church study there, or maybe they should do something along those lines, a little more godly, like Amish country.
Amish country.
They go too.
An ode to Amish. We need to have an Amish land there. They need to build an Amish land where all the rides are like people on bicycles that are like running them. Like there's no electricity in Amish land, and it's got to close at 5. And I would love that. Come on, it's a theme.
There's plenty of Amish people or Mennonite who show up that I feel sorry for, that they have to see the people watching that don't show up in that many clothes. They probably feel sorry for all those people.
Did you guys hear about the person at Universal? A woman was wearing like a sports bra top, and they wouldn't let her in.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Look it up. It's an interesting story. There's a lot of...
Ooh.
You'll understand why people want her in there.
Yeah.
Good.
Another girl got kicked out of Disney this past summer because her shorts were too small.
No cheese, no service.
Jebediah, what are you looking at? Oh, nothing, dear. All right, so let me ask you guys this question. We kind of talked about having season passes and all that. We talked about we're in the buyout. I'm sorry, we're into the buyout offer. It's interesting. I was reading an article online, and it was saying this is probably a good deal for both parks. They're saying because this is an interesting paragraph. It says it's they say if you overlay the map of SeaWorld parks and Cedar Fair properties, that you see a stronger chain of gated attractions across the country. So it's good for their profile in that way. And they say SeaWorld needs Cedar Fair too, because it will make SeaWorld less susceptible to a Blackfish 2 or whatever controversy lights the picketers' ire. They say it will make it easy to sell annual passes, packing more value with more bundled together. Be easier to justify national marketing campaigns, and which would get them more money. And they're saying that it would help the parks a little bit. And again, me just even going this route, I'm sure it's people are blowing their minds because everyone hates the idea of this deal. But I'm just throwing out what other people are saying. Go ahead, Donnie.
I see. I didn't know that you felt this way, and I'm on the same boat. Like, obviously, I really don't want it to happen, but I just don't think it's going to be a terrible thing if it does. I haven't been to a SeaWorld in years. They own Busch Gardens as well, and we were planning on going to Busch Gardens in June, but just being online, I do notice that they are constantly improving the parks. They're constantly adding stuff to SeaWorld Orlando. The Iron Gwazi opens this year at Busch Gardens Tampa, and I know there was a big delay on that, but that is going to be like a world. What does he call it? World level coaster. Like that's going to be a destination
breaking record.
Ride.
Mm-hmm. They just opened Icebreaker too this past week, or the season pass holders. They just opened it to SeaWorld did down there.
Molly, you were saying something online. I think that Cedar Fair is hurting financially a little bit, or you're getting whiffs of it, or it's
I have read and I have heard that they have been in debt for a while and they have been hurting. That's kind of why the gold passes came out. That's kind of why but before the pandemic, that's why the gold passes came out. That's why kind of like when they went over and they switched over to, sorry, let me group my mind. COVID, and then they moved all the passes over financially. Right. They lost all that money
because they carried them over. Once and those passes lasted for like a year and a half.
But Canada's Wonderland, which is one of their biggest parks, closed all of 2020, half of 2021. They're still in a smaller banked park, smaller like COVID area up in Canada because of the restrictions. They carried their passes over in 2021 even. So, and that's why the Fastlane season passes came out to regroup some of that money so they can get it back. I would take it. They had a snack idea come out in Knott's to try the snacks, like for food, like if we could do food for so many and then so many hours and then pick up a snack and then do a snack idea, if that makes sense to you guys.
And then, like a Disneyland thing like that, where you have and then you get like 4 snacks a day or something like that.
Right. Well, they tried it in Knott's. Well, now they moved it over to not season pass holders, but they moved it over to the 90-minute meal for Cedar Point this year, so they can also do snacks.
But here's the thing about that is the whole I lost my train of thought. Man, that's
well. I can add to that.
I'm getting older. Go ahead, Donnie.
So yeah, I mean, I agree with Molly. The pandemic was a huge blow. They are just starting to become profitable again. They took that. I don't know if you guys remember. They took $1 billion loan like right off the rip in 2020. I think it started. They were going to do like $700K, and then they were going to do $9 million, and they're like, well, let's just do $1 billion. They took $1 billion loan to kind of weather the storm for. It was supposed to be for the next year, but I do think last year attendance was up, but once again, I think that was the last year of our 2.5 years of free passes. So their attendance was up, was up, and I will tell you this: the resorts were booked the last 2 months of the year, outside of Halloween weekends. Like normally, you could get a room at Breakers like a couple days before, a week before. I mean, you could show up and say, "Hey, let's see if there's a room at Breakers." Breakers was booked for the last 2 months of the year, and then this year they have Castaway Bay is reopening.
Yeah.
So the water, and then.
But they have a huge remodel on Castaway Bay this year, and a huge remodel on the
golf course.
Yeah, the golf course one. And with that being redone, that's a huge, I want to say blow, but I'm sure they already had it budget, but still they have redoing all that. And that looks into their profits as well.
Yeah.
But
these were supposed to be done. That's the thing. Like
right.
COVID
and they're
slowed all of that down.
It did. And I'm not saying it's not going to go through. The SeaWorld thing is not going through. I'm just saying that them pushing it off and doing all this is still something that they're losing out on.
Well, if I could just add to that, I think what Molly is trying to say is this is why it feels like it might go through, is because of these things that we have been watching. Yeah.
Right. Well, and here's the thing: is Donnie knows that this Gold Pass thing drives me crazy. There is no reason we should be getting passes for a whole year for $99. I mean, and the problem is, they were flooding it because it was a cash flow thing. Well, we're going to flood the park. It doesn't matter to us, and it drove me crazy. I mean, passes should be right around two visits, so it should be right around the $150 mark, $160, $170 mark. So $99. Every Yahoo in God's green earth is going to buy a pass. The causeway is freaking full, and it would literally drive me crazy. Let's go ahead, Nicole.
I was just saying that was me. Actually,
it's okay. Andrew's got to get past you. Don't worry.
For my kids' birthdays in 2019, the Gold Passes came out, so I bought each of them a Gold Pass. I bought each of them a friend with a Gold Pass. So
we took some of the kids' friends last year.
She was passing out Gold Passes like it was hot.
I was like, you get a Gold Pass and you
get a Gold.
We're trying to get people hooked.
Gold Pass.
And I'm hooked. Like, I'll pay it now.
Yeah, well, and it's true, but that's what I'm saying is so many people would buy. We did it too. I mean, we bought our friends or the kids' friends would have a goal. Everyone got a pass, but that's the saying. It was a great cash influx for them, I'm sure. But it drove a lot of the regulars crazy because man, did the park go way up. And I'm surprised that as a business side, they don't see. Look, experience things like Cedar Point. All they're going to do is continue to get bigger. People are wanting experiences over stuff. And I mean, it's been years trend in America about that. And Cedar Point is going to always be one of the best experiences you're going to have as a family. So, I mean, they should be able to see that the far side that this COVID thing was a 2 to 3 year issue. But right now, I mean, you go anywhere, no one's got a mask on. The pandemic's over. We've got therapeutics, we've got vaccines. In people's minds, it's over. Everyone's going back to doing what they were doing before. Cedar Point is going to be one of those things, and they're going to be back on track to be a successful park again. This was just an anomaly, a 100-year pandemic, and there's no one going. I'm not going back to Cedar Point because there's too many people there. It's just going to continue to grow. I think we're going to go back to pre-pandemic visitation levels this season. I don't know. I just see if they hold on, they're going to be fine. But I'm obviously I'm too stupid to own any. So I mean, we'll see what they. It's a much bigger thing than on our level.
I think they'll be just fine, and I know that their stock's raised only because of the SeaWorld bid, anyways, and that's why SeaWorld's stock went up as well, but we'll just have to see what happens. I'm not worried about it. And I'm a platinum pass holder. I've been a platinum pass holder for years. And my only concern about platinum and gold is there's no difference. The only difference is I get to go to other parks and that's the only difference. Besides that, we are the exact same thing across the board. You guys get to go to the water park. I can do that as well, but I can go to other parks and I get to go to Winterfest at Kings Island. That's the only thing that holds the difference.
Molly, you're bougie, but you're one of the people, which I like. You know, you hang down with us Gold Pass people, even though you really are a bougie. You're much bougier than we are. So I appreciate you coming down to our level, Molly. I appreciate that. Nicole, were you going to say something?
No, I was just gonna say that. I was like, you know, like it was accessible. So like for me, I would have been a pass holder years ago, right? But it's just that far away. And I live in Michigan. I'm north of Detroit, about an hour. And so Michigan's Adventure is also a 3-hour, like I'm right between Cedar Point and Michigan's Adventure, which has an incredible water park, by the way.
Their water park is fabulous.
Beautiful. It's actually, that's the draw. But
yeah, it is.
So
100%.
That, but now the rides just don't compare. So, but for us, the Gold Pass made it accessible. It was like $100. So my kids' birthdays are close together. I spent $500 for Gold Passes for them and 2 friends. That's way less than what I would have spent on a birthday party. And we went for a whole weekend. So even with our stay at Breakers, it was less than a birthday party. And that's what I really appreciated that. I thought it was really cool. It ended up, as Donnie likes to point out, 3 years of fun essentially for that price. And so, but now I'm hooked. So I'm in. And
they're
not off the table.
They're basically the crack dealers of the amusement park. Give you a taste, get you hooked, and then raise the price. That's what.
I think it's like $135 right now. It's up there.
Is it? Well,
yeah.
Well, let's talk about this. What do you guys think? A day at Cedar Point. I want to look over the last 40 years. Back in 1980, it was $9.95 a day. Yeah. In 1990, it went up $10 to $19.95 for the day. In 2000, it went up to $38 for the day. In 2010, it was $45. 2015, it was $61. 2020 was $74.99. And now we just heard about the $10 raise to $84.99. If you're buying the one-day ticket, is it still worth it at $85?
Buy it online is cheaper.
Yeah. It's always that ticket price it's always been kind of fake because if you buy online, like you're not paying more than like $50, you know, maybe 45 or $50. So just don't buy.
What is it? Is it like the MSRP in the car business?
100%.
Buy online, you get it cheaper. Plus, you get a meal plan with it and a drink plan. You're set to go for the day. Don't buy at the gate.
Dude, that's one thing that I love about the passes. So, I mean, you spend the $99 in Gold Pass. We always get the drink and the food because here's what I love about it is you don't have to pack. It's like if I want a last minute spur of the moment trip to Cedar Point, let's go. We got drinks down there. We got food down there. We don't have to worry. I don't know how they make money. They don't make money on our family. They're losing money. That we're probably what made them susceptible to Cedar Point a SeaWorld offer because we money's worth on the food for sure. But
they make money off of me. Half of my wardrobe, like 75%, is all Cedar Point stuff. So
yes, I can tell you. I've been single-handedly trying to keep Cedar Fair alive for the last 3 years.
I'm such a cheapskate. No way. We bought the season meal plan. Each of us has a drink plan. We don't even each have a meal plan. We share a meal plan because we don't eat a ton when we're there because if you get a yucky stomach, then you're going to take time away from me on rides. And this mama is not waiting for you to have that.
Nicole, put that on our list for next week. I want to talk about food. I want to talk about food. like that there at the park. Go
I
ahead, Don.
have
Go
a
ahead,
drink plan, I have a meal plan, and then I have a merchandise plan. I use it all.
A merchandise. I knew there was a merchandise plan.
Yeah, it's called 10%. It's not good enough, but I use it inside all the stores. And like I said, 75% of my wardrobe is Cedar Point.
Wow.
Not just Cedar Point, all Cedar Fair merchandise across the board.
You know what we did is we bought because the hotel is very pricey. I mean, they're not ashamed of their pricing at their hotels. I mean, they get you in with a gold pass, but man, I mean, what's a room, Donnie? You would know better than I. About $500.
Yeah, well,
something.
it depends on where you're at, but regular price is about $350. But if you go, on like a slower a traffic day, you can get it for like maybe about $250.
Yeah.
So here's what we did is we went ahead and invested in an RV. It's a 20-year-old RV. It's a 99. It's nothing spectacular. But my plan is, because you can get a space out there for less than $100.
Yeah.
So I figure we'll bring that thing down every weekend. We'll stay down there for the weekends for $100, and we're gonna try it here and see if
you gotta start booking your weekends, because the RV plots they book out before the rooms too.
But there's other nice parks down there that you don't have to stay on point, even though it's convenient. There's other nice parks down there. That
KOA's right there.
We have
the KOA's down there. There's there's East Harbor. There's the one out on 101. There's other nice parks in the area that you can stay at.
We have to stay on point though, because it's a small RV for 5 kids, and when they annoy me, they just have to be able to go by themselves and just go to the park or go to the water park or do something. Like I have to
push them away. That's what you're doing.
You have 5 kids?
Yes.
5 kids. How old are your kids?
3 to 15.
Okay.
You can't push a 3-year-old away.
No, I know, but
well, after 5, yeah, you can.
that's why I like the on premises one, because they have the shuttles, and which is really cool.
The shuttles are nice.
Yeah, so we're gonna try that this year and see how it goes. I've never owned an RV in my life. I've never been an RV person, but we did it, so we're gonna see how this works for us for the upcoming season, which we're excited about.
That's amazing.
About 12 weeks away. So,
and they have extended their RV area in the last couple of years, anyways.
Well, we got a cabin, and the cabin and RV spaces are kind of share like the same. You get the pool out there, and stuff. So
the pool's awesome out there.
Yeah.
Any of their pools? Are you kidding me? Any of their pools from the Lighthouse Point to Hotel Breakers are nice pools.
Oh yeah.
And Castaway Bay needed an update, but it was an awesome.
Update is nice, but their water park is not getting the update.
What? Well,
yeah, you guys don't know that.
I liked their water park though, and like it's the only one where it's actually a roller coaster in there. I mean, that's
and it was one of the first ones that was ever done, but their water park is not getting the update.
Interesting, just the rooms, huh?
The rooms.
And they took all the balconies away too. They used to all have balconies. They took all the balconies off.
I love the balconies out
there. I know they took them all off.
Oh, that sucks. Well, all right,
yep.
That's my fantasy though, Andrew. Like, getting an RV. You guys are gonna totally make fun of me, but that's what I want to do. I want to just go from amusement park to amusement park, and like run my business in my RV, and that's just what we're doing. And that's not like amusement parks.
Well, and that's our goal too. We're gonna see if we got in cheaply, so we're gonna see if our dream can translate to reality. I don't know the answer, so we're gonna find out this season when we put this baby to the test.
So Kings Island just got a resort too for cabins and
who did
RVs.
Kings Island.
Oh,
they just opened it this year or last season.
I think it's called Camp Cedar, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. Yep, Kings Island just got it.
So growing up, we had an old Winnebago style. It was not a Winnebago. It was, again, that's Platinum Pass. We're Gold Pass family. And we drove all over. And those memories are so awesome. My kids are even too old for that memory, but that's me in my retirement where I'm like, I just want to drive around the country in my RV.
I know. It's funny how many people have that dream. It's so funny. But I love it. We had that same dream, and a buddy of mine was just sitting there. I'm like, man, let me get that thing. And then you get it, and some of the walls are rotted or whatever. But we're just doing some rehab on it and putting a couple grand into it, and then we're just gonna put it on the road again. Donnie, you know
Bring
this.
it back to vacation. There's an RV, Clark.
That's right. It's the old Stadium Salsa RV.
Yeah.
Our friend Greg didn't you want to use it anymore? So I'm like, well, I'll take it off your hands. So I did.
Yeah,
We'll
I've
see.
been in that RV.
You guys, it was fun, man. What'd you guys think of the first episode? I thought I had a blast. You guys are amazing.
Yeah.
I'm excited to in this go on this journey with you guys, and I appreciate you taking time to hang out with us. And we'll do it again. We'll do this weekly. And so this is our first episode, you guys. Thank you so much for Nicole and Molly and Donnie P. I'm Andrew Z. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Donnie's riding the ride.
Break run.